Hello and welcome back to Stadia Source, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. My name is Avery. This is the Stadia Source Roundtable podcast. We've got a star-studded show tonight, and Dom is already telling me I need to rearrange my windows, so I appreciate you doing that for me, Dom. Let's get to it. With me tonight, we have, as always, the one, the only, the discoverer and founder of Stadia Source, Mr. Dan Wheeler.
How's it going, everybody?
We've got Dan and we've got Dom. I'll tell you why this is a matter in a second. We got Dom Schmidt. How are you today, Mr. Dom?
Good evening. I'm good, thanks. Yourself, Avery? No one ever asks you how you are.
You know, I've got this thing on my. Hold on, let me pull up my. I'm just kidding. It's
That's for after the show.
true that. We've got, and now your mama knows, Anthony.
Cause I'm a cowboy. Oh man.
And already our guest is like, why am I here? And we've got everybody's favorite Scarlet Stream.
Hi, you pandemonium of parrots.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, isn't it? Yeah.
Parrotmonium.
You just reminded me of the game on PlayStation, Pandemonium, as well.
Yeah, there we go.
You would think that would be the name for a group of pandas, though. Like a pandemonium? I don't know. It's okay. You may. There's one more box on the screen, so let me say hi to him. You may know our guest from his guest arc on Glee, his Broadway and off-Broadway productions of and tours of Rent, Heathers, and Rock of Ages. Rent, which I saw him in, and even his choreography for Will Ferrell and Adele. It's Dan Domenech.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's going on?
Good to be here.
I am pretty sure this is the first time we've ever had a Broadway star on our podcast.
That's
might
awesome.
very well be the only Broadway person to ever be on any Stadia podcast anywhere.
That's amazing.
World first.
World first. Got the boss kill here. No, I don't know.
World premiere.
So we got Dan Dom and then Dan Dom down there. So we'll keep it. We'll try to keep it together somehow. You've already got people in the chat being like, "Hey, I love Rock of Ages." I love so. So there you go. We'll get to know Dan D in just a second. But before we get started, did you know you can get the Roundtable as an actual podcast? Search for Stadia Source on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever it is you happen to get podcasts. And if you're watching us live, we want you to be a part of the chat. Say hi during the show, and if you want to make sure we absolutely bring up your message, use that super chat or super sticker feature, and we will definitely let you say hi in the screen because it shows your support for Stadia Source. Last but not least, you join Stadia Source right here on YouTube by hitting that join button down below. Members get amazing perks from exclusive community play live streams, such as the Dawn by Daylight Masterclass, which will happen as soon as they patch the horrible things they've done to Dead by Daylight.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming to early access videos and Stadia Source merch. So hit that join button down below to learn more and become a member. Dan D, we are so excited to have you on the show today. So for folks who may not know you, give us just a hair of your CV. Tell us how tell us about you, and then tell us how you found out about Stadia, how you kind of gotten into it, and what makes you a Stadia fan.
Okay. Well, I'm a performer. I got into performing probably professionally in 2002, but it was always been something that I did since I was a little kid. Started working, did some tours, did a lot of musical theater. Eventually that led to doing TV and film. Ended up in LA for about 4 years, did a bunch of choreography with a choreographer by the name of Marguerite Derricks, and every movie from mid 2006 to like 2010. It was insane. That was like, it's a complete left turn. Found my way back to musical theater. And it's like a hamster wheel, the entertainment business. You're constantly just chasing the next job and taking what comes your way, and you can't really strong arm it. You just kind of go in the direction that it takes you. And I've always been a gamer since I was a kid. Since Super Mario Brothers came out in the original Game Boy, my babysitter introduced me to it, and that was like, that's it. After that, it just took off, and I never stopped. Stadia came about because I had heard about it, but I understood the concept of it, but I didn't think that it could actually work. I'm like, how could that possibly work with zero latency? How can you get like ultra high, graphics? And my girlfriend actually bought me 2 Stadia controllers for Christmas, and I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. And I turned it on and was immediately said, this is the future, because it looked better than, I just upgraded my PC like the month before that, and I haven't touched my PC since. It's like, it's wild. Yeah, so I love it.
Very cool. Well, we're glad you found the future. We agree. We just happen to agree with you on that point. But I think that might actually been the tweet that I found. So I met Dan on Twitter, and it might have been. I think you tweeted like Stadia is the future.
Yeah.
Right around Christmas time, and I was like, I'm going to message him and see what's on the show. So, and lo and behold,
And I'm glad you did.
yeah. Well, and we are happy to have you on here. So we know that Stadia is the best place to play for gamer nerds like us, but Broadway stars too could be. Well,
There are dozens of us, I swear. There's actually a Broadway Gamers Facebook group that people are in because no one really talks about it at work, and I'm like, why not? What?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Well, so they did Ratatouille the musical. Can we do Stadia the musical? Can we make this happen?
We can make it happen.
Probably.
We can make it happen. Coming at you in 2022.
We know people.
Yeah.
There's enough of a roller coaster story to make something out of it. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I did want to start a Broadway Gamer League. That started the year before I had left. That was like something I was working on in 2020. No, 2019, and then 2020 happened.
Yeah. Cool beans. There you go. Broadway Gamer League. But how do we get the EGOTs in there to be like the crew captains and the? That's fine. I desperately just want to see Patty Lapone going, "Mother, I'll show you, snipe, kill me." Like that would just be mwah, chef's kiss. Well, we are glad to have you on the show tonight to talk all things Stadia this week. We had a lot of Stadia news flying around. And yes, Dave, it was that button that you should click if you want to join the chat. So thank you for joining the chat with the two pound chat, Dave. We appreciate it. So well, we are let's get started as we always do with a little bit of what have we been playing. And last week I started with me, so this week I'll start the other direction. Dan D, tell us what you have been playing this week, Stadia or otherwise.
Little Nightmares 2, one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. It is very, very cool. I'm a hardcore Dead by Daylight fan, so I got it on the Switch, got it on my PC, and of course now for this. So that's a morning coffee, and if I don't have anything to do that day, it's Dead by Daylight. And then PGA 2K21.
You've got a friend in the box directly above you. Dom does a series on our channel called Dom by Daylight because he's rank 1 killer, rank 1.
We're gonna have to play together.
Yes. There you go. Bada boom. Scarlett, what have you been playing? What's on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
Stadia. Nothing. Because I'm a terrible person who's so busy.
You've been
with
in
everything
woodworking
else.
hell the past like 4 weeks, so it's understandable.
Yeah, it's been like 14-hour days every day. Today was my break day. I said I was going to assemble displays today, and I did not because I have not taken a break in nearly 2 weeks. But we've been playing the new Flames of the Nether update on Dungeons on the Switch because we love Minecraft Dungeons. I've been trying to get onto Stadia to play some more Phoenix and some more Journey to the Savage Planet just because those two games are such a delight. But other than that, I have been rewatching Stargate SG-1 while I work. So that's because my hands are doing other stuff, so my hands can't play games. So my eyes watch SG-1.
It makes sense. That's a good series.
Oh,
I
yeah.
kicked off Voyager a couple weeks ago as my treadmill watching show. So because I'd never seen all of Voyager, so right there with you.
Yes.
Red Dwarf is the thing to go for next because that one.
Red Dwarf. I haven't heard of that one.
Dwarf. It's a UK kind of funny in that same vein.
All right.
Anthony, out there on the ranch, what have you been playing in between cattle rustlings?
Well,
Shooting cows.
Avery, these horses, man, they're tough to keep up with. But in between, when I've been getting the chance to game, I think the game I've been playing the most lately is Scott Pilgrim. I've been trying to level up all my characters. So I leveled up Scott all the way, and now I'm just working my way. I was playing a little bit of Avengers because we're getting close to, March 18th with the new DLC. And tonight, the last time I played Baldur's Gate was when I bought it last week on Stadia Source, and I streamed it. So I'm going to play that again tonight right after the stream. But Yeah, I feel like this week I haven't played as much. I've been more watching streams than playing streams. But Scott Pilgrim has been my #1 game. I played that a lot. Even yesterday, I was playing that. So
Very cool. Very cool. Mr. Dom, not Domenech, but Mr. Dom Schmidt. What's been on your Stadia playlist? Or otherwise game thing. I messed up the phrase that I say at least 6 times a show. Welcome to 2021, everybody.
This is the last pod. It's been my week on, so I've not really had much time to play much at all. I streamed on Sunday, Dead by Daylight, and I played some like F1 with friends and stuff. But I recently picked up on Steam a game called Hunt Showdown, which I think is about a year old now.
that game is awesome,
and it's a really cool concept, and I've just been really enjoying it. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a battle royale mixed in with like PvE elements. So you're in squads of up to 3, and there's 4 other squads, and then there's like 1 or 2 monsters that you have to find clues to hunt, and then you collect their bounties and you have to escape. But obviously other people want to do the same thing, and it's kind of like steampunk vibe, like old school guns and stuff. It's really fun, and I really enjoy it.
And then Dom, tell him one of the craziest things about that game is when you die, your character's gone.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Like you recruit hunters, and then those hunters, if you die, that hunter's gone forever. But
permadeath.
Exactly. But then if you escape, then you can keep leveling up your hunters, so they can get better and better with different guns. But you lose any equipment and whatever that they have on them, and all their perks if they die. So
isn't there a game that just came out or is coming out that's like that, where you go around recruiting people through like your phone? No, nobody knows that. Guess I'm just.
Well, Watchdog Legions. I'm
in 100% of a different loop. I'm gonna look this up now.
To me, Watch Dogs, because that's like
Watch Dogs. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
something like that. Is that it?
Yeah, Watchdog Legions.
Yeah, you like recruit people, and then if they die, they're dead.
Oh, it's no, just the explanation had me thrown off.
Like I see what you mean, but it's not
Trying to be relevant here.
Scarlett's like, I just want to play too.
I do.
I've been looking at woodworking all week, and
all week.
It's okay. It's okay.
I love it though. Don't get me wrong.
But yeah, that's it.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Sorry, Dom.
President, CEO, and Czar Dan, what have you been playing? What's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
Destiny 2 as always, although I've not played that as much as I should have, given that there's a new season at the moment. So hoping to jump in back on that soon and grind some of those season rewards. Piku Niku, just because, again, it was one of those games that I just thought, I'm not going to like this, but I kind of bought it because I needed some information for the website. And then I needed to unlock at least one achievement. And it took me probably about 40 minutes to get this achievement. And by then it was like, I've played enough of it that I'm now quite invested in this story, like, or lack thereof. But yeah, so I just keep playing that. And then last Saturday was, obviously everybody knows I'm quite a big Pokemon Go player. So there was a big event where you had to catch all 151 Pokemon in one day. Like the original Gen 1 Pokemon in one day. There was like a big event, and obviously they all spawned. And so I was literally from about 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. at night. I was outside with only just a lunch break. Yeah, just literally like that in the park.
How many did you get?
I got them all, but my missus is, because the thing is, you have to get them all in one day, but they do give you like 7 days grace period to get the ones that you're missing, but obviously they're not spawning on the map as much. My missus is like 7 off from completing it, and they're just not appearing anywhere. We've even been out tonight. I was nearly late for the podcast because we were out.
So this is literally the first time that anybody's been able to catch all 151 without having to pay for something else.
I mean,
because like if you go, even if you have like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, you still have to pay to get the little Pokeball to get Mew unless you trade it in with somebody.
No,
you can't actually catch all 151 in any single game.
There was like a task, like a special research that you could get Mew, but this one's for a shiny Mew, so it's blue one, and you also get a shiny Ditto as well.
Nice.
But I mean, the problem is obviously I've been playing for years, so I had tons of candies saved up anyway for evolutions. But Mrs. only started playing like a few weeks ago, so she's, you know what I mean, she's caught everyone that she needs to catch, but she also then needs to evolve some of them. So
if we could trade more than just 10 yards away from each other, I'd send you all my stuff because I gave up on Pokemon when they raised the cap. They raised the cap, and I was like, I'm one level away, and they raised the cap. They're like, and if you don't hit 40 by the end of the year, you don't get special stuff. I've been playing since day one. Religiously.
Dan's boost, so he could just go to where you are.
No, because they bash down on hackers like that, and I didn't want to do that. But anyway, I'd send them to you, Dan. I'd help.
Thank you.
Dan, since you're saying you caught all the Pokemon, could you sing the song? Because how the song goes, got to catch them all.
No, specifically rap. That's at the end of every.
No one ever was. No, that's all you're getting.
There you go.
I actually did a show with a guy who's friends with the guy that sings that song. So we're doing this show called Wonderland for Broadway. We're like rehearsing, and like all of a sudden he's just like, I don't know how it came up, but he's like, oh yeah, that's my friend. I'm like, yeah, right. And what is it? And then he pulls up a picture, and I was like, oh my god, that's the guy.
I love that song, man. Love that song.
6 degrees of pokey separation.
I know
it's the Stadia Source theme tune by that kind of style.
And who's Anthony got a beef with today? No.
There you go.
Terrible. Terrible.
Real quick question: did anybody play Outriders demo? Since we're just talking about random games, anybody get a chance to play it? And any thoughts?
I haven't checked.
I can't be bothered to wait for the download.
So I've watched people stream. I was, I wasn't like wow, like some people seem to have been.
I was watching Rock stream, and he had this thing where if you type into the chat, a text-to-speech engine actually read it out on the stream. So I got sidetracked by that.
Well.
I know. I think it was when I tried to make it do tongue twisters. I think he may have decided to switch it off. But yeah, to be fair, it looks good, but I don't know if because people.
It looks like it's a mixture of Mass Effect and Gears of War, like mashed together.
Well, I hear it's not going to be live service, so it's just going to be they're going to make it, put it out there, and if they do DLC down the road, so kind of like switching gears where everything now has to be live service.
Yeah, it's like Gears of War, right? There's a campaign. You complete the campaign, it's the game over. It's not open world where you can just run around.
Because a friend of mine today, he said it's supposed to be like Destiny, right? I said no, not really, not in that sense.
Well, I guess I'll talk about what I've been playing since Anthony doesn't seem to want me to get in here on this.
Oh, I forgot you was on the show, man.
It's just your constant campaign to get me replaced. I see what it is.
Just slowly ousting you bit by bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, and now, and then he's gonna jump in with a segue to our next topic or something. It's gonna be terrible. So it has just again been Final Fantasy 14. I've not played anything else. Wow. I've not fired up Stadia in a week. It's now 2 weeks that I've not fired up Stadia. So it's the biggest problem is.
Wait, what did you say? 2 weeks?
Let me put my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on.
So
say that again.
This guy.
I get that we are this source, I get that, but the biggest
it does say we're your number one source for news and reviews, not.
No, it's Stadia news and reviews. That's true. Yeah, I contribute to the news and the reviews. I do. The biggest challenge is I've mentioned this before that I'm a completionist. Like I don't start multiple games. I play a game all the way through, and the game that is the game that is currently in that boat for me.
Hang on a minute.
Is on Stadia. The game on Stadia that is currently in that boat for me is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I'm just so tired of it. but I gotta finish it. I gotta catch them all when it comes to Vikings and fjord raiding and whatnot. And I've got to be the very best. That wasn't even begins to be. What was moving on?
What was that anyway?
I don't know. I was trying to go A-board.
Which Final Fantasy is on Stadia?
15, which was the first game I ever bought and finished it. I got Dom real
What
early
was
on the
that?
face palm. This
What
one,
was
he's
that?
just red. He's just.
It sounded a
gone
little
now.
bit more Indian as opposed to like Norse.
Yeah,
To be fair,
I can't.
I thought you were trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I want to be the very boost. There we go. I got it. I want to be the very boost. I got it. Okay. Anyways, moving on.
I'd quit while you're at
Accents are not my thing. We all know this. We
get
all
out
know
of the
this.
hole, Avery. Get out of the hole.
No, that is. That's
Anthony's hiding.
So that's Final Fantasy 14 is all that I've been playing. But hey, completed ARR main story quests. Getting into Heavensward now. Only 7 years or 6 years later. So, for the of you who care about Final Fantasy 14, I will play something. I promise you all, I will play something on Stadia between now and next week's call, because, as the news roundup will tell us, the March Pro games have been announced. So there's a whole bunch of new games.
What a segue. You're a professional, man.
Boom. Podcast Pro. That's high praise coming from you. So the March Pro games have been announced, including the long-awaited Q games only on Stadia, Pixel Junk Raiders. Back in when Phil Harrison in the White Room announced at GDC that the lead from Q Games was one of the ones who got on stage and mentioned that they were working on a game, and they were going to be doing some cool stuff with the Stadia only features. And so I'm currently covering Anthony. You know what? I'm going to leave it. So perfect positioning of that banner right there. And so we got this. For a second there, he kind of looked like Mega Man from Mega Man Legends is kind of the look that got there. But yeah, it's kind of like a exploratory foreign planets, beat up things, roguelike-ish. It's got a little bit of Risk of Rain 2 vibes to it.
They're procedurally generated, right? The worlds.
Yeah.
So they're different every time.
Yeah.
And it is only on Stadia, not first on Stadia, only on Stadia. You got to rescue the survivors and all that good stuff. Who's looking forward to?
I thought if Stadia
Yes,
closed Stadia Games Entertainment, that means no exclusives.
It's almost as if there are other game studios that exist in the world, and a big enough check can be cut.
I gotta hold my hat.
Wait, is that a sandworm?
Indeed.
That was indeed a sandworm.
That was dope.
And you can share your save states with friends, and when you do, you get powerful boosts. So we're to understand that they have got a brand new integration of state share that we have never seen before. And there you go.
Have any of you guys used that yet? State share?
It's not really a thing yet, really.
It's
because like
Hitman 3, and then
Krita has like
Kratos.
Krita share.
Yeah.
And then
I've used that, but that's not really
it's in the Hitman.
Yeah,
it is
it's in
Hitman.
Hitman 1, 2,
Yeah.
and 3. So if you've got Pro, there's no reason why you couldn't jump in and try it straight away.
Right.
It's I'm interested. I regardless, I want to see more people doing more things with these enhanced features, like that go outside the boundaries of normal. Pardon me, I'm getting choked up about Pixel Junk Raiders. Dan D, is this in your wheelhouse? This kind of game that you'd be interested in?
I would try it out. I'm more of a anything that's like team based. So again, Dead by Daylight, Phasmophobia, I was big into.
Oh, Phasma's so good.
Right? I know, like it's scary.
All right, Dom
Makes
and
my
Dom.
palms sweat. Dom? Which
Dom and Dahmer? No.
No. That's
we're gonna get along, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, and again, only on Stadia. That's what we want to see. It just continues to prove the point that we can literally get exclusive games, you guys. We totally can.
Now, is it time release or anything, or is it?
No, it's
only
a straight exclusive.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Just-
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Any
for the
bets on it
sandworms
going
alone.
pro?
Beetlejuice fan and thing. Yeah, it's I mean it's going to be free on Pro. It's one of the March Pro games. And it came out of nowhere. It was announced on Tuesday to be released the following Sunday, I think.
Monday.
I don't know how time works anymore.
Monday.
The first is
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
Whatever the first is. I don't know how time works anymore. So yeah, kind of awesome that we're just suddenly getting this brand new game that nobody it was not on anybody's radar. Like, we knew that Splash Damage was working on Outcasters forever. and then hype, and then Outcasters. But Pixel Junk Raiders is like, oh yeah, by the way, you know that Pixel Junk series? Here's a new game. Oof.
It's just like we still know that Supermassive were working on something, and
weren't they?
I really hope they call it Black Hole.
The Forgotten. No, they
helped port something, but they didn't.
Submerged.
No,
I think that was
wasn't
the Supermassive, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Submerged Hidden Depths. Somebody in the chat, take a look.
Can I just say that it was rated about 3 months ago, but obviously we didn't really know what that meant at the time. We didn't know what it was about, what the game was.
Oh, Uppercut. Submerged was Uppercut. So yeah, Supermassive is still out there.
Supermassive and the people that made Guitar Hero.
Yeah, Harmonix.
Harmonix, yeah. There's still 2 games
there, so
incoming.
So, presumably we will have more. And there's nothing stopping anybody else. Like, Ubisoft could totally say, and our next game is a Stadia exclusive. Like, nothing stopping anybody.
You can dream.
Speaking of...
it's going to get there. It'll get there eventually. You can see the trajectory of this whole thing. The fact that you can just play on your television and then go to your cell phone and then, it just plays just as good. And then I'm just going to play on my laptop, like in a coffee shop. It's amazing.
And the controller.
Check this out, guys.
And
the fact that you could do this, the review will be coming soon.
Right from behind you. Oh, the X2 something.
That's not working.
All we see is a horse currently eating.
You can see it now, man. Right,
I'd like to hear what you think about it, Anthony, because I've got the Razer thingy. And
the Razer Kishi?
It's a bit small for my hands, so it kind of cramps my hands after a while.
Well, the problem with the Razer Kishi for me is I have the Galaxy Fold, and so the Razer Kishi isn't big enough. It won't hold my phone. But yeah, this just came out. But the thing about this is the original one, the D-pad was like a Nintendo Switch D-pad where it's just buttons. So it's like but this they actually added like a true D-pad. So interesting.
Very exciting. Exciting.
Right. You guys got to see my horses leave, and that's not cool.
They did stampede away, boss. Well, speaking of other games in the March Pro, I get this. It's not good. It's fine. It's fine. Avicii Invector, a music game. Hello There Games. That's sound that I don't want to hear because y'all can't hear it. So yeah, I never cared about Avicii or his music. Is anybody an Avicii fan already?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
To in a club, but
you know him.
I know of
Without
Avicii.
you, wake me up and lay me down. So it looks super fun. I loved Res Infinite, like those games. I like.
Is it multiplayer?
Any kind of music games. We'll find out.
Looks like it.
Looks like it had Geometry Wars. It's like Geometry Wars meets like what's that racing game that on PlayStation, the old PlayStation, the really fast one?
I don't know.
Are you talking about Wipeout?
Yes.
Wipeout.
Oh yeah.
It's like Wipeout meets Geometry Wars.
Oh Christ, what was the game? I'm gonna have to look this up. No, it's an old game on Steam. Audio, something like that, and you could basically you could put any song you wanted into the game, and then it would create a track, and you could you collect colors and stuff. Anyway, Audio Surf, great game.
Sorry. One of those beat
games.
It
reminds me of Res, which I really liked. So yeah, I love any kind of musical rhythmy kind of game. Is totally. Why does it come back to the wrong thing? Is totally like up my alley. So I'm looking forward to that one. I don't care about Avicii, but I'm sure the music is fine. I wouldn't know. I just muted it, but I'm sure it's fine. So I will say though, the 2 other games we're getting for Pro were 2 of my 3 choices on last week's Stadia Pro draft. We're getting Reigns and Pac-Man Megatonal Battle. So Anthony, you will now have as many Pac-Man-ish people as you want to play Pac-Man with you. Are you excited for the global expansion of Pac-Man into the Pro universe?
I can't wait to whoop as many people as I can. I might have to do a new Pac-Man Megatonal All-Purpose Championship this weekend for all the new players.
Well, Monday, but
Oh yeah, Monday.
as everybody's telling me because I don't understand how calendars work.
No, yeah, it's Monday. It's Monday. That's right. Avery, are you going to play? Avery, are you gonna play?
I will finally play this again. So Dan D, the I don't know if did you try any of the demos that came out last fall? Stadia did this event called Good Stuff where you could just log in and play, and Pac-Man was one of them.
Yes,
Or was that Christmas year?
I played that during Christmas time. I played a Pac-Man game. There was no. I know what you're talking about. Yes, I did try that. But
it was around Thanksgiving, just before Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah, because I was interested in what was going on, and I thought it was cool, but I didn't do a deep enough dive to get hooked. Mm-hmm. It was the controllers that brought me in.
It is the controller.
Dan, I'm the self-proclaimed top Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle player. Period. So
is that a challenge?
Letting you know.
Of the
I challenge everybody in Pac-Man.
You gonna have a beef now? Now he's in Jersey, so he's in Jersey and he's in New York, so that's close enough. I'm just saying.
Listen, we can take it to the arcade.
In-person beef.
Take it to barcade.
Take it to the arcade. What? Oh, all right.
I'm just picturing some barcade owner in Manhattan or in Brooklyn going, "You want me to hook a Chromecast up to what? Like we have." I get you brought your own controllers. What? Like, it could be. There we go. That's what we need to do. Barcades that use Stadia. It makes perfect sense, you guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Unlimited Wi-Fi.
Other new game-ish news that we have gotten, a bunch of other new game releases, including, it's on a list and it's right in front of me. Welcome to Elk, A Place for the Unwilling, a couple of games in the Shantae series, and then Hellpoint just came out randomly today. Has anybody given any of these new games a try? I don't know that nobody seems to have mentioned them so far.
Mm-hmm. I will say this: I didn't give any of them a try, but I just finished watching for the state. Hold on, man!
I love this. I didn't play them, but I do want to mention something completely unrelated.
What I was going to say was I was just watching the guy who was playing on the Stadia Bash Community Network right before this. Stefan, he's from Germany. He actually was playing the Hell game, and it looked really cool. So I'm interested in that. All right, I'm done.
I was tempted by Hellpoint, and then I watched some reviews because it's been out for 6 months on other platforms, whatever. And it's like a Souls-like game in sci-fi themed, and it didn't have fantastic reviews.
It's got no achievements either.
I don't know. It just from what I see, it just seems it feels a bit underwhelming.
So does Welcome to Elk. They both don't have achievements, so achievement hunters are panicking now for some reason. But
we're getting cinematic trailers that show you absolutely
Dan,
nothing
if you
about
don't have achievements, how do you know that you're actually playing the game?
I know. How do you prove?
If there is not picture proof, it didn't happen.
Wow.
But you do run a YouTube channel, so I mean theoretically,
I will pick up Hellpoint tomorrow.
Video proof
And try it.
Dom, if you really want to do that, I have a code. So thank you, Callum from the review team. Because we haven't got any codes in quite some time. Does this not have any actual gameplay footage in this whole dang trailer? No. Okay. Well, that's not useful to me. Nobody look at the thing that said state of play. Nobody. It's not happening. I swear.
I think the state of play's finished, by the way.
No, It starts at 5.
There we go.
It started at 5, so it should still be going.
I think it's only half an hour from what people on Twitter have said.
If that's true, that's pretty short.
It looks pretty cool, man.
But it's PlayStation. If Stadia did that, then that's fine.
A lot of people are not very happy about how it went.
The state of play?
What? You mean gamers are opinionated about things like that?
That's weird. This just looks like
cool to any of you guys.
This just looks like another weird game where you beat things up. Like every other game.
Wow.
It's a Souls game, right? So you're dodging and attacking and
bobbing and weaving and beating.
Roll.
Now I think it's co-op because he was saying that he was telling people to type in the code so they could jump in and play with him.
Yeah, you can. It's up to 4 people, I want to say.
So that's
jump in with you.
Cool.
Is it impossibly hard? Is the question.
Again, from all reviews, I said you can basically like stun lock enemies with light attack. So it's kind of like. I don't know. I'm going to give it a go and see how it is.
Wait,
You
till
don't
we
sound
on sale.
enthusiastic enough, Dom. All right.
I'm gonna give it a go and see how it is.
There
Wait,
it
these
is.
codes,
He
man.
doesn't want to endorse it just yet.
Dom breaking that traditional British stoicness with.
Doesn't have the
Really
Dom seal of
enjoy.
approval yet.
There you go.
That's okay.
So I've
it
got
looks
Welcome
interesting.
to Elk, and I also got A Place for the Unwilling, but I've not actually had chance to play them yet. So probably for the next show, I might say, what have you been
If
playing
you
this
play
week?
something on Stadia, then yeah, it could be.
Yep.
I mean, hey, more games. I played Half Genie Hero, the Shantae game on the Switch. It was fun. I won't buy it again because it's probably $20 and it'll come out on Pro. But it was fun. So I'll at some point I might play it if I ever play games on Stadia again. Other things, we got a couple of other announcements. We got ratings for Ben 10 Power Trip and DreamWorks Dragons game. Stadia seems to be on a family games roll lately. There was
I
a
have
couple of
no
more
problem with
ratings.
that.
Yeah, first it was Paw Patrol. Now it's Ben 10. Like, come on, guys. And it's perfect for, keep the kid entertained, hand him an iPad, hand him a controller, and just go. Like, absolutely perfect for that. Anybody excited for Ben 10 Power Trip or DreamWorks Dragons?
Ben 10 does look pretty cool though, from the video I've seen.
Do we want to pull up a trailer for that one too? Ben 10 Power Trip trailer. Okay, let's check out our Ben 10 shenanigans here. Here we go.
What were you saying, Scarlett?
Sure.
I'm probably one of the biggest fans of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise that could possibly exist. I love the movies, the TV show, Dragon Riders of Berk. That was really good. Just all of it. I actually didn't know that there was a video game though, so I'm feeling a little ashamed there. But apparently it's not like the most amazing game, which is fine. I mean, not every game can be a killer game, but I mean, I love dragons, so you probably won't be able to keep me away from this one.
See, I'm not
pretty
super
cool, too.
hyped for them myself, but I know like I have 4 nephews. I mean, 2 of which can't actually play games because they're too young at the moment. But the older 2, like I know that they will just sit and play this for hours. And it's one of those things. Like even though like some of the games that come out on Stadia, I'm not necessarily a fan of myself. I still love to see these games coming out because it reinforces the fact that obviously Stadia isn't going anywhere. They're still investing in it. And someone somewhere is going to enjoy this game, and more power to them,
100%.
so.
I mean, I'm that way with Cyberpunk. I could care less about Cyberpunk, and yet I appreciate what it brings to the community having it on Stadia.
Absolutely.
So I mean, there's nothing like I'm not a horror movie fan, but I can appreciate that people love it. Like there's no reason for everybody to be like me.
Something for
So
everybody.
I am pretty awesome.
There's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, I'm getting Orcs Must Die with Panzer Dragoon vibes.
See, the only thing I worry about these is that you're going to get those people that kind of say like, yeah, I mean, but what about Call of Duty and what about Fortnite and stuff like that? And
Until those games come, people are always going to say that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't
And
matter.
then
And
they'll
when
pick
those
something else.
you just have to ignore them. But at the same time, I think to myself, like, for example, the Nintendo Switch has always been kind of like, orientated at different types of people that would normally play Xbox and PlayStation, for example. They have like quite a lot of family and child-friendly games and even female-friendly games as well. And I kind of think...
Oh, sorry, that's us.
I kind of think that, like, you know what I mean? Stadia needs to not necessarily carve out where it wants to go, but I think branch out as much as possible, because if you can get kids, obviously we've said it time and time before, kids don't really care what platform they play on. They just want to press a button and go. And you know what I mean? If Stadia can be the thing that they play on, then I don't mind having kids over hardcore players playing Stadia as long as someone's playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well said.
Every game, all games matter. They all matter.
Yeah.
They're all important. Dragon hype. A couple of other headlines from StadiaSource.com. Hey, there you go. Dragon Tongue. Journey to Le Sauvage Planet has had its bug fix. Yes,
Yay.
everybody. Yes. Okay.
This should have been the
yes.
hot topic.
No, I refused to make this or the lawsuit the hot topic. We're going to cover them very briefly because we only have 13 minutes in which to do it. But Journey to Savage Planet. So there was a game-breaking bug that was in there. Kotaku Australia and a whole bunch of other sites were like, oh, Stadia can't even fix their own games because they fired everybody. And then a day later, Stadia released a bug fix. So it's fine, but was anybody caught by this particular bug? I know several folks have played JTTSP. Dan D, did you give Journey a try when it came out last month?
No, I
It's
didn't.
so
I didn't.
good.
But I saw. I looked at the reviews. I watched some videos, and I want to get into it. There's just so many. I have like a backlog of things that I need to finish, and I'm suffering from the same thing that happened when I got into PC gaming, which is either games go on sale or when you have Pro, you just like claim a bunch of games. And it's like, all right, I got to get through this. So I do want to get to it eventually because it looks like loads of fun. Yeah, it'll happen.
Unless you're Scarlet, your Pro library never gets. It just always expands forever.
Yeah.
Scarlet doesn't claim the games. She only claims the ones.
You always bring this up, and you never bring up the reason why.
There is no
Why?
good reason.
Avery. Okay,
Because there's no search bar?
first
Is
off,
that the
though,
annoyance?
Domenech, Dan D.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. You said it right. That was good.
Okay. So you got to try out Journey to the Savage Planet. It's hilarious.
All right.
I don't know how much. I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming you're going to start watching these little commercials that are on there, and you're like, "This is my childhood" because it's so good.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'll take it.
But yes, and I have to. Okay, so now Avery, now I have to defend myself yet again. I refuse to claim a game, even if it's free, if I know that I will never play it. There is no point for me to claim something that I will not partake of. I won't buy a book. I won't get a TV show.
True before family sharing. Now, what if a member of your family really wanted to play that game that you could have claimed 3 months ago?
Right.
Just say.
And then my thing is,
considering the
right?
fact that my
And they
husband
should
and I
have
played
had
the
Pro
exact
themselves.
my husband and I play the exact same things, and nobody else in my family cares about Stadia, then I think we're good.
Yeah,
But
so
no,
We're
I-
just gonna start randomly adding people.
I
Reason why-
curate what I consume, and so I will not claim something that I know I will not play.
Well,
okay.
reason why I claim everything is because I've had this happen to me back on the PlayStation. I claim everything, but I don't. So the PlayStation was hard because you used to have to claim it and download it, and then I have to claim it, download it, and delete it. Then they added the library feature, right? But then I will always get somebody say, "Hey, did you ever play that game?" It's like, I didn't play that garbage. Like, no, it's really good. Play it, and I play it. I'm like, oh, this game is really good. But I thought I would never play this game, and then I ended up playing the game. It's like, oh man. So you're literally not okay.
I'm not
think we're ever
claiming
gonna
things
convince
that I know I won't play. I will never play MK11. That's just not a game that I will ever play. I don't care
That's
for
true.
games
That
that
would not be
style.
in your
So that
wheelhouse.
has nothing to do with what the game, like what its level of quality. Someone comes to me and says, "This game is amazing." Okay, fine, but I don't play fighter games. I just don't. I'm not good at them. I don't care to play them. So that is an example of what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm like,
All
if
right,
it's
Scarlett, take a stand. I like this. Put down.
You got
Thanks.
backing from Broadway.
Woo!
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's okay.
so,
Everybody has their own style of managing their Stadia world, and that's okay.
Yes.
And we're just done. Slam the door and go. No.
Oh, wait, look at the chat. Wait, what if they released the How to
Andrew.
Train Your Dragon DLC for MK11?
I mean, could be. You never know.
I'm still not
It's-
playing it. I don't
The
do- I
gaming
don't do
CPA is one of our streamers on our channel, so he's just trying to cause problems right
That's
now
funny.
with his DreamWorks Dragon hype. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So it's fixed. Everybody, it's fixed. It's fine. Move on. Ignore Kotaku. They're just clickbait. It's fine. Watch Dogs Legion online mode arrives in just
March 9th.
about a week and a half.
Right.
Toot sweet. Any Watch Dogs Legion fans among us? It's in. I've purchased it, but
I missed the
haven't
train on
touched
this
it.
one. I wanted to get into it when it first came out, and I just didn't. But it's something that I've been meaning to get into.
I think the cool thing is everybody always say, oh, we want Grand Theft Auto. This is pretty much Grand Theft Auto with cool gadgets. So I feel like once the multiplayer come out, then I'll jump into it because I like to just jump in cars and do nonsense. But yeah, I mean, we kind of got a Grand Theft Auto style game already with this and part 2.
Is it multiplayer as in like co-op, or is it?
Because it looks like I just saw some kind of a PvP mode.
It's similar to GTA Online where you do like heists and raids and stuff.
Because I've bought this game, but I have not actually played it. I bought it for someone who was staying at my house at the time, and they played it for like an hour and then have never touched it since. So I still have the game, and I'm one of these people that I prefer to play games like socially with other people rather than play it by myself. So if I could play this with someone else, that would obviously, interest me a lot more.
I'd play with you, but I don't like you, so
I'm patiently waiting for Ubisoft Plus.
There is a sign in there that says, "If I don't know you, I don't trust you." I feel like that's the synopsis of this game.
And there's going to be a few different modes too. They're going to have a battle mode where you can have those spider-looking robots battling each other. So it's not just one mode. Real
yes.
Yeah. And it does have some language though, Scarlett. I would imagine this is also not in your not in your library.
No. But I mean, if someone wants to put up a BattleBots, like just robots fighting, like I'll watch that. Does anybody here know what BattleBots is?
Yes, with the robot arena.
Thank you.
Like, he's coming in with the circular saw.
Yeah, it's so good. I
love it. Didn't Bill Nye host that? Who hosted BattleBots?
Somebody famous. I don't know.
Now,
you mentioned Avery earlier, Red Dwarf. Well, the UK version of that, Robot Wars, was actually hosted by one of the actors in Red Dwarf.
Oh, nice.
Craig Charles.
There you go.
It was Bill Nye. Bill Nye hosted it for 2 years, and then
there was a new person.
Carmen Electra. For a while.
Maybe that's what it was. I know, my husband and I watched it while we were dating. We got like super into it. We're like, oh, they're bringing in this guy.
It's apparently still on.
Steel?
Real Steel, yeah, giant robots.
Yeah,
oh yeah, 100%. Love that one.
Yeah, with Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All over Hugh Jackman movies. He's fantastic. Great singing
I've heard
voice
he's got
too.
a Hugh Jackman. Nobody. That's fine. It's a terrible joke. I've had that joke in my brain for a decade.
Hugh Jack, man the stations.
There you go. That was Scarlett's got the punch up. That's what I need. I need Scarlett just to punch up all the terrible jokes. Last but not least, because we haven't written an article about it. We haven't discussed it on the show, but we have to at some point, and so this is going to be it. So the big story of like last week was that Stadia was being sued, class action lawsuit about. So Dan D, if you didn't hear anything about this, then perfect. Basically, a class action lawsuit that they said all games are going to be 4K 60, and because some games aren't 4K 60, class action lawsuit.
I want my money.
My $3.
So for those our UK friends here in the States, we'll sue everybody about anything and any reason. Weird Al has a song about it called "I'll Sue Ya." Like that's the culture here, and so of course. It was probably only a matter of time before somebody tried this. But in speaking with Kevin Flug from who's a lawyer and friend of mine on Twitter, who will at some point, if we do decide to write an article on this, is going to consult for that article. Basically, there are predatory law firms that look for complaints, like people complaining about something on Twitter or articles about it, and then they're like, we're going to file a lawsuit. We're going to do a class action suit and try to get people in it because they just get money. Like they have to do almost nothing. Eventually, these things settle. Google settles lawsuits all day in, day out. So this is just a money grub is all this is. It has not moved to suit, so they've filed a thing, but that doesn't mean it's a thing.
In October last year.
In October, and nobody heard about it until February. So clearly, it's not a thing. But everybody freaked out and pointed it to it as another example of Stadia in the trash. Like so,
What?
Dan,
Okay.
did you even hear about this? Like, did this have to come up on your radar at all as the average Stadia player?
Yeah, I definitely heard about it. I was actually debating with a guy about it because he made like a video.
I said Dan D, but I get where you could have heard Anthony. On that.
I could have said Anthony.
Anthony's taking over for the host. He's taking over for the guests. It's just going
to be the Anthony show.
I'm sorry,
You're doing
man,
great, Anthony. Keep going, man.
6 StreamYard boxes, and it's just Anthony. We're gonna somebody stitch that together. Just
we're all gonna
Anthony
go
6
get
times
cowboy
over.
hats this next
I'm
time.
telling you guys, let's all get. Hey, look, Scarlett, come on. I got one of your hats, so you gotta get a cowboy. Hold on.
I still gotta.
Got the merch.
Yeah, we gotta get you a bandana though.
Yeah, man, you gotta give me a
We'll
little.
just do a
Give me a
Plum and
Stadia
nice Plum and Sunset bandana to go around the hat.
or give me like a Stadia source. We
we got Stadia Source neck gaiters.
What?
Yeah, son, you're clearly not looking at our merchandise store.
I was looking, but I don't
You
remember.
need to
if
hit
it
up
was-
www.stadiasource.com/merch right
Yeah,
now.
no, but I don't remember
Or
if it had Stadia
ReadyGamer1.shop.
source on it when I seen it. 'Cause remember, anyways. So but go ahead, Dan.
Oh no, I did see it because I always want to see what new games are coming out. So all my news feed like Stadia stuff comes up all the time. So I did see it, but I just think like all the things that happen to this platform that are bad are just things for them to step over as they climb their way to greatness. It's again, I keep saying it, it's clearly going to be the future of gaming, and if everyone wants to hate on it now, it's just going to give it more attention as people get curious about it, and they're just going to garner more players. It is what it is.
Great point of view. That is a great point of view on this.
People like to hate on things that they're intimidated by.
Yeah, there you go.
So, in some weird way, it's like you're probably going to think I'm all really weird here now, but like, let's say
we love you.
Okay.
Please don't think I'm really weird for saying this, but like, let's say you're driving right and you see like a dead animal at the side of the road, right? Sometimes you can't help but look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Stadia is that. So people.
So you're
see
saying that Stadia is a piece of roadkill?
No,
it has
but like,
been struck
according
by
to-
Stadia is the
vehicle.
car that struck that roadkill.
let me finish. So, obviously, according to Kotaku and all these press sites, Stadia is roadkill. According to them, it's dead already, and they've fired all the staff and blah blah blah. So then people like get curious and say like, is it really as bad as what they say it is? Like, is the latency as bad? And they try it, and you know what I mean, they sign up kind of, I can't think of the word now, but like almost as a joke. And then they play it and realize, hey, actually, it's not that bad. And there's new games being released all the time and stuff. So it's just one of those things. The more the more
a little injured deer steps off the side of the road and hobbles into
exactly.
the woods.
It's just things like that. Like you know, you
Daylight.
can't take your eyes off them.
Well, it's
Anyway, so
similar to what Dan said. That's what John Justice said in December, right? Like as soon as people start using the service, they actually figure out it works, and that's when they see so many people who were skeptical actually become believers.
Well, that's why you should, go to more than just one source for, your reviews and your opinions on things. Like,
No, you should come to this source.
No, guys, I'm saying like people will go to their favorite streamer and they're like, oh, well, this person says that Stadia sucks, therefore it's true. But it's like, yeah, but if you actually go and listen to some other people, they say it's okay, or some people say it's fantastic. So stop
watching Anthony streams where he says Stadia sucks, then you wouldn't
do your due diligence, people. He's always saying,
yes,
I am a
do your research.
Fan,
and at the end of the day, come back to Stadia Source. Stadia News Review. Where you're gonna come back to all together now. Stadia. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay.
I thought we were gonna say for a second.
Tell F in the chat. Sometimes you pull over and find no.
Dan.
No, moving on.
Dan's like, yeah, that was my dinner tonight. That's where the analogy came from.
He did say he was almost late to the show because he was outside, like roaming the street.
That is true.
Yes, Mr. Schmidt.
Just before we move on to other things, I don't know if because you said last things, I wasn't sure if you're going to say any more news. The Baldur's Gate 3 patch dropped today as of a few hours ago.
Druids.
So that's now live, so the Druids are in it. and also Destiny 2 have reconfirmed that crossplay is coming for Stadia and PC and console and everything in Season 15. So we're in Season 13 now. There'll be alpha testing next season and then a widespread launch this fall in Season 15.
Oh,
Nice.
so Anthony,
Good
that
stuff.
means when you log in today, your save is gone.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So you have to start fresh because every time
You
they
know
do a
what?
major patch, they wipe Stadia.
I got killed by the brand. I spent my stream was like an hour and 39 minutes, and I don't think I did anything. So I actually accidentally resetted my character's looks like twice. So it's all good.
And also, if anyone who has Baldur's Gate and they want to play crossplay, because it is crossplay, at the moment the patch versions are different. I've reached out to Larian, but I haven't got a response yet whether that it's still playable, because they said a few months ago if the patch numbers are different, then you can't play crossplay. So once the patches are the same, then hopefully that'll get sorted. But I haven't heard anything yet.
And remember, guys, I will be playing it live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. You could jump in my game and screw me over like whoever decided to make that brain attack me last week, but and not be my friend. But you know, damn,
Probably
why you
Ray the
smiling?
Gaming Cyborg if I had to guess who's trying to screw you over in your streams. But
Yeah.
it's neither here nor there. Well, you know what? You can check out all the latest headlines at StadiaSource.com, your number one source Stadia news and reviews. But at the end of the day, there's only us. There's only this. Forget, regret, or life is yours to miss. And it's time for the hot topic.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
He got you at like the third word. He's like, oh.
Oh, Dan's like, I've sung this song on stage hundreds of times.
And look, Dom didn't give you a face plant.
It wasn't bad, that's why.
It was a good one.
Normally they're terrible, so I'll allow that one.
always-
You're
I would
fantastic.
guess. I would guess Dom ramming his face into the concrete would be a bit extreme.
Yeah. And Dom is the roadkill today. No, so Dan D.
He said
our,
face plant, not face palm. So
crunch. Yeah, I used to. So the section is called the Hot Topic. So for the first like 12 episodes, it was Hot Topic, the store based puns and jokes.
Oh my god.
But I ran out of those pretty quickly. So now it's just like movie quotes. So because
And
you
they're
have a segue,
fantastic.
right? They are fantastic. Thank you, Scarlett. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So we're going to talk about for today's hot topic. I didn't want to talk about any of the other stuff, so we had to come up with a good hot topic for today. And the topic that I thought I would bring up to the group is Stadia's potential as a white label service. So as we're thinking about paths that Stadia can take in the future, one of the paths that seems to be a potential on the horizon is the concept that Stadia might offer white label services to vendor partners to be able to say, okay, Square Enix, you want to have a cloud gaming service? Cool. We're your folks. Go to cloud.squareenix.com and it happens to be Stadia on the back end. So that's the topic for tonight. So I want to kind of kick this off. Anthony, I never start the hot topic with you. So I'm going to start the hot topic with you. Do you see a future? Do you see it as a viable future for Stadia to offer that as a service, or do you think it might compete too much with the core Stadia experience?
I think it would be fine because, like you said in your example, it would be on the back end, and it's revenue. So anything that can make revenue to keep the engine going makes sense. I think. On the back end, yes. Now I know people would take it and run with it like, oh, look at Stadia. But if they're building revenue, then it will help the engine keep going, right? So I personally don't see the negative in it. I think people could take it and spin it. But if Stadia is going to keep going now, if Stadia closes, right, and stop doing video games, period, and then do it, then I guess, yeah, that wouldn't be cool. Like if Stadia was no more Stadia, that you played games for Stadia, but it was only like Stadia was like a service, then obviously we all wouldn't be sitting here, so it wouldn't be cool. But I don't see a problem with it.
Scarlett, do you think that is a potential path Stadia could go down, where there is no more Stadia.google.com, but the cloud tech is still out there and still used?
I mean, so I'm okay with things being Okay. Let me. I was totally going down a different path in my thought process, and you brought up a different question.
Well, go down your thought process, and we'll come back to that question. I'm fine.
Okay, let's do that then. I am all for white labels. White labels are essentially what Ready Gamer 1 exists on. For those who don't know, I run ReadyGamer1.store and .shop. I create unique geeky gamer gear, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, pillows, mugs, hats. I merchandise for people as well, Stadia Source being one of them. The printing companies that I use are considered white label because they do not put any of their own stuff on it at all. They run the service. They appreciate if you say, this is where I do my business through, but you don't even have to do that. There's nothing about it. So I thrive off of a white label service. When I first started out running businesses 2 years ago now, I was using white label boxes. So full printing, complete, totally awesome color boxes, no markings at all, whatever, from the original company. Again, I didn't even have to tell people where I got the stuff from. So white label services are a huge part of any business's company. I mean, I'm pretty sure even if you looked at, like, I don't know, the Stadia backpacks that we have, like there's maybe like a minuscule tag somewhere. Yeah, there's like H2Go on the cap for
little X symbol.
Yeah, itty bitty. Yeah. So I mean that's fairly close to white label. So like I want people to realize that white label things isn't bad. It's a really good way of actually getting a lot of good stuff out there. I'm one of the prime examples of that. If Stadia were to shift into doing white label, be like, let us run the power for you, let us be the server, let us do all of that hard work, you just put your games on it and call it your own, I have no problems with that. If it gets more games to people, if it brings down costs, if it makes things, because competition among gaming things is only going to be better for the consumers, which is us. Would it suck to lose Stadia? Absolutely. So if their goal is to make Stadia like a beta almost, so like we're testing out the platform on our own so that we can make sure it actually works, and then we'll start selling platforms to people. And then somewhere down the road, they're like, well, Stadia hasn't done what we wanted it to, but what we do best, which is helping other people make their stuff, is working. We're going to keep doing that. I have no issues with it turning white label. I don't want to see Stadia itself go away. If they want to do both, props.
Dan D on this one.
You're gonna make me follow that up?
Oh, I'm gonna make you.
That was a great explanation.
Look, you got them actor chops. You got to make something up right now. But use that Stanislav. So, and then I have to make up a question. No. Looking at this future of Stadia, the tech is sound. Like you said it at the very top that like this tech is amazing. So it seems pretty logical that Google could insulate, use the tech only for themselves, or they could say, don't worry about it. Nintendo, we know you don't have a cloud service. Don't worry about it. We got you. Let's form a partnership. Let's make something happen. That's the kind of future that you kind of see here, right?
Yeah. Anything that incentivizes studios to create more content for us is a win. And if you're a smaller studio that doesn't want to throw your resources into making your own independent cloud streaming service, it would make sense to partner with someone like Google that has these farms all over the country of servers that are just ready to go. It seems like a win-win for everybody. And like Scarlett was saying, the user at the end of the day, we're the ones that win when things like this happen. So I'm all for it. And I like the Stadia platform. I don't see why it should have to go anywhere. There's room for everybody. It's a pretty big pie, the gaming industry.
I mean, ultimately, if EA decides they're going to bring EA Play they want a cloud version of EA Play, they've got however many dozens of games, so they have to make those dozens of games work on the Stadia platform. So then there's no reason they can't just also sell those games on the Stadia platform to make that 70% cut on those as well. Dom, I think this also becomes an option for kind of as Dan was saying, smaller studios. If you're like a Devolver Digital, who has a pretty big library, but they're not multi-million dollar. It's not a multi-million dollar, $100 million game company. They are a publishing house for smaller ones. Or look at a Coatsink, who did Get Packed and Cake Bash and kind of all those. It's a logical way for them to say, well, we want to get out there with like an Ubisoft Plus kind of thing, or we want to get out there with an EA Play, but let's do it all cloud, and then you're done, right?
Yeah, and like again, back to that John Justice interview in December, they spoke in the past about other publishers and developers having their own store. Like I think this is something they spoke about back in 2019 about having another store on Stadia, where other you could go to, I don't know, the Ubisoft store or the whatever store on Stadia and buy games through. Like I don't know, like it the options are endless, right? Like they can just. There's the tech side, and then there's the actual Stadia interface and everything using that. Like Activision have done deals with Google Cloud, like they're hosting some of their games now, but they equally have deals with Amazon and both Microsoft as well. So lots of fingers and lots of pies. I don't think Stadia, like I'd be interested to know like the cost of running Stadia, like the hardware and stuff, whether they make their money on that at all. I don't know, like against the obviously like porting games and paying developers to bring their games costs money, but whether they're just like if they just keep the service as it is now with no new games or anything, I'd be interested to know how much it's actually costing Google, if anything, because they already have these data centers. It's not like they've built new data centers for Stadia; they just put stuff into these data centers, right? I don't know. It's like I'm not that knowledgeable on the whole white label stuff, so I don't really know how it will go. In my eyes, it just can only be good for the consumer, right? Because more choice is better.
Well, even
that was really rambling.
No. Even in a white label situation, and Dan, this is where our kind of software knowledge kind of hits in there. At the end of the day, you might be a white label service, but 90% of your code base is the same code base as the regular service. The 10% is the extra branding and the extra couple of enhancements and things like that. So if Stadia offered a white label service, it's not like they're going to start a completely fresh thing and spin up from scratch. They're just going to take the Stadia platform and slap a skin on it.
So one of the things that kind of worries me about like the whole white label thing is that like we've heard of obviously the Google graveyard and the fact that like they don't technically get rid of something outright. Most of the time they take the tech and they turn it into something else, or that tech gets used by other people. I mean, someone mentioned in the comments here, Gandara, that Android is a white label service, and that's a Google product. So what I worry though is that, like you say, Stadia is as a gaming entity by itself could cease to exist, and obviously we love Stadia, so we don't want to see it go anywhere. But unless it, like Dom says, that unless it's profitable for them, it could go that way. They could decide to make it purely white label, and yes, it's great for the consumers, but it kind of sucks for the people that like Stadia as its own separate platform. And what I worry as well is if you start then branching that out to so that anybody could technically have their own streaming services, is you end up with sort of like, and it's probably going to go this way anyway, because music has, film and TV has, but you're going to end up where you've got Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon, and like unless you subscribe to every single one of them, like you're going to miss out on some games because you choose not to subscribe to that one thing. And like obviously Disney has quite a variety of different things on, but like a lot of people think that I'm not going to subscribe to Disney Plus because I don't like Disney films or something. So at least when it first came out and it didn't have, I think, stars or whatever, it's just, I can't remember what it's called, that's just come out that's added all sorts of adult orientated things as well. But yeah, I don't personally like the idea of having to subscribe to multiple platforms and have to pay X amount per month to potentially play one game from that, that particular developer. So if they were going to run side by side, so like you said, Avery, if they make the game, they're going to have to make it so that it runs on Stadia anyway. So why can't you just release it on Stadia and your own platform? Because then at least if you subscribe to their platform, then you get all of their games along with it. Or if you just want the one game, you might decide just to buy it on Stadia and that's it. So I think a hybrid of the two would be the best for everybody. But yeah, I'm just worried that it's going to cost us more in the long run.
They'll go where the money is. And it kind of, it's almost there is a culture. So like, you've got PC players, PlayStation folks, Nintendo folks, Xbox folks, Stadia folks, and if it just goes white label, then you kind of don't. I guess all that folds into the PC camp. If you had to put everybody on the teams, then at that point you're playing in your browser or you're playing, I guess, through Chromecasts, because you would still be able to do that, or on Android TVs. But you kind of sort of you don't have a camp anymore if you're playing on cloud.eaplay.com, right?
Just something like I thought of, like if I don't know, EA decide to use they pick up, like use Stadia as like a white label thing, right? And then they have their own. What platform would that be based on? Would that then like be a Linux game that they've had to like, and any cloud games that they make in the future, they'll have to make for that specific thing, right? Do you see what I mean? Because like,
it would still be on the Stadia architecture.
That's what I mean.
Even
so
if
like,
it wasn't a Stadia, game. So
I'm guessing they'd have to, yeah. So they'd have to those games, but then I don't understand why they can just become to Stadia at the same time. Do you know? I don't know. I don't know enough about
unless
this
there
stuff.
isn't a Stadia. That would be the only case, in which case.
Right.
Dave with a great chat. Google stuck with Wear, and nobody likes that. So I will agree on that. I've had several Google Wear watches, and I'm currently wearing an Apple Watch, and it's the entire reason I went to iPhone. So I kind of get you on that.
Yeah, I'm excited that Google has Fitbit now.
We might finally see a decent Android Wear watch.
They're on the store now, aren't they? Fitbit, what stuff is all on the Google store?
I don't know, AZ. I love my Galaxy Watch, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, I have a Galaxy Watch as well.
No.
Hey!
Yeah, so
There's something about this guy.
I swear, if we all had these watches, we could have all just morphed then.
There was some
Stadia stores, your number one source for Samsung watches and more.
Yeah, somebody I was on Twitter with somebody talking about the Stadia, places like Kotaku and stuff hammering on Stadia for no reason because it gets them clicks, and it's like, make my drama grow. Thank you. My name is I went as Blue Ranger several years in a row when I was in elementary school. Eli in the chat saying, I missed the podcast. Just scroll back, man. It's a podcast, but it's okay. I look at this and I do see potential, because it's only going to be worth it. Like, people are only going to invest in the white label service if they're going to then be able to get something out of it in terms of being able to bring a catalog. One reason I would see white label happening is because if you look at publishers like EA, Capcom, Sega, whoever, they've got dozens or hundreds of games that nobody's ever going to play again. Like, maybe if you're emulating, or maybe if they release it on an eShop or something. But for the most part, they've got, nobody's playing Madden 2007 anymore, because who cares, right? But if you're able to get it all on a white label cloud service, make it an easy port process, which is one of the things that's kind of missing here, and just say, yeah, we got 300 games, click on whichever one you want to play, and then that's just extra revenue for them, where they're spinning a blade running a PlayStation 2 game instead of spinning a blade running a current game with ray tracing and all that kind of stuff, which would be a more high-powered, heavy-powered game. Then it kind of sort of works in that sense.
Well, like, these publishers will have to partner with someone if they want cloud games, right? Because none of them have data centers around the world powerful enough to run enough instances for all these games. So, and not many of them, if any, could probably invest to do that. So I'm guessing someone, whether it's Amazon, Azure, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud, or they'd have to partner with someone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not
Fingers
gonna
crossed, Stadia.
Yeah, right. Which could be a lifeline for Stadia if for any reason Stadia as one of the core 5 now. If you count PC in there, doesn't have whatever. Then having this as an option to keep the tech. Ultimately, Google has made a millions of dollar investment in streaming tech, latency killing tech, cloud video game processing tech. Like, they've made a ton of investment, and they're not just gonna want to go, all right, trash it. Like, they're not gonna want to do that. Not to mention the amount of money, because the other thing is, if this does go white label, then that means that EA Play Cloud has a stream to YouTube button that doesn't necessarily exist on another platform, or Square Enix Cloud has that, or they might be able to throw in Stream Connect, State Share, or whatever, with their games. Be kind of interesting to see if they do white label, if those Stadia enhanced features make it to the other platforms, or if they hold those back for themselves, because they gotta have something for themselves, right? Any final thoughts on the potential future of Stadia as a white label? Dan D, you've had these wonderfully positive, upbeat point perspectives on this that us jaded Stadia veterans of the fourth Twitter war, don't always get. So when you look at Stadia's future, what do you see when you peer off the stage into the crowd of Stadia? What do you see?
It's going to be the Netflix of gaming, and I think it's trucking along at a healthy pace right now, because it seems like it's really going to be a marathon and not a race, because there's no shortage of games in the world, and they've obviously, like you said, sunk all this money into making this service work. And I'm sure the first time they got this thing to work flawlessly, there was probably a huge party that night, because again, there's nothing like it. But to rush it would probably kill it. So to truck forward like this and then put out the small fires and just kind of walk over any bad reviews and any bad vibes and just keep moving along, they're gonna keep getting loyal followers until, I'm sure someday it's just gonna blow up and everyone's just gonna, at that point, the other companies are just gonna be left in the dust.
You only get one opening night, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's no secret that this is going to be a thing. Everyone's getting on the bandwagon, but Google's been in it for so long.
But it was Activision today basically said, like, you can't expect to have Call of Duty Cold War and Call of Duty Warzone on a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Like, it won't fit anymore. 2 games, that's insane. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's just another advocate for cloud gaming, where there's no limits on storage and stuff. So there's no doubt it's the future and it's getting there. But I think it's something we often forget as a community right there as well, is how early on we are in this process. Like, this isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to take years, but it is picking up and gathering steam, I think.
Yeah, I said that on the I was on the Co-op Mode podcast. Shout out to the guys over there at Co-op Mode, and I basically said, like, Stadia has a time problem, that it launched at a moment when somebody pulled the time stone out of the timeline and everything fractured, because, like, yesterday it was June and today it happens to be February, but I think tomorrow's gonna be April, and no, time just doesn't work properly anymore. So Stadia launched at a perfect moment for everybody to forget that just because we're all kind of stuck right now and the clock is ticking doesn't mean there aren't years left that we need to give all this.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, go.
Yeah, no, I just, if I was running the show, I would wait for the perfect time to drop the Super Bowl commercial. Right now it just seems like it's very
like grassroots
Under the radar.
cult hit under the radar, and they're just waiting for that one moment to be like, all right, release the Kraken, all the ads, everyone, let's get everyone on board. And at that point, it's just, they want.
I also think a thing with this is it would be no point, right, to throw out the huge, big, kind of to your point, big Stadia trailer at the Super Bowl, right? The honesty is we don't have the player base, right? So longevity is the key. The longer it keeps going and it keeps trucking, because here's the thing. I got a bunch of friends who, Stadia is terrible. I watch these videos. And like, dude, I'm making my own personal videos, and you know me in real life versus some guy you never met. And I'm showing that it works, and they don't believe me, right? Now, that was a year ago. Now, those same friends I talked to, one of them started playing it, and the other one was like, I'm about to get on Stadia. And I said, and they said, well, it works now. It didn't work then. I'm like, I showed you then. So longevity is key. What the universal truth is, Stadia does work. And the longer time go on, whether they have bumps and bruises and putting out fires, it still works, and it's going to start working with more games. So they're going to start getting more games that people are, and then also what Avery said is very important. Wait, was it Avery that said if you had? No, that was Dom. Sorry, Dom. Look at Warzone.
We look so much alike, so I understand.
Yeah, exactly. So, but look at it, right? I said the other day, jokingly, when on our podcast, I was like, well, if Stadia went under, maybe I'll buy a PlayStation or I'll buy a Xbox, right? So I was talking to my friends about it. I said, man, I would be so upset. I would have to download if Stadia ended, my very first time playing another video game, I'm like, all right, I'm going to buy Marvel Avengers on the PlayStation 5 and have to download. I'd be like, like it would just, what you get with Stadia, it's a universal truth. It is real. It's unlimited storage, and longevity is going to let people see that this is real. If people are noticing it's real. So what they need now, before they was able to say like, it doesn't work. Nobody can say that now, especially because of Cyberpunk, right? So we know it does work. So we just need, as time go on, more people are going to realize it does work. It does allow you to not have to download things, no installs, no updates, and that stuff are going to be more universal truths, and it's going to start looking good. And then, more people are going to trickle over.
Following on from that, like you get used to these things, right? Like as I mentioned, the game I played this week is Hunt Showdown. It's the first game I've had to download and install for ages, and it was like it wasn't very long. It's only 24 gigabytes. It's not a massive game, and it took like half an hour. But still, that's half an hour of not playing the game, where I could have just clicked play, and I'm playing. Like I don't want to bother downloading and having to manage. And then there's also like the graphical settings and stuff, and my PC's like it's okay, but it's not the best. So game runs fine, but it could look better. And like I don't want to deal with any of that anymore. I'm bored of that. Like I've had my PC gaming days. I've always been a PC gamer, and I'll always try and play with the mouse and keyboard if I can. But I don't want to have to deal with upgrades and settings and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. And the other thing is there's no such thing as an ex Stadia player. If you signed up for stadia.google.com, you just have it forever. Like you can't sell your box. You can get rid of the controller. Well, cool. You still have mouse and keyboard. Like you just can't. You're one of us forever, people. Forever.
Unless you're the Terraria guy, in which case.
Unless you're the Terraria guy.
But it's just quickly, it's also the quote that both Clive and Lloyd from Nerdnest say all the time is that thingy's not Lloyd. Bill said on, I think it was Cloudburst, like if you have a Gmail account, you own Stadia, idiot. Like that's it. There's nothing.
You own a Stadia.
Yeah. Like
you have the Stadia. Everybody has the Stadia.
Stadia.
The Stadia. Well, you can get involved in the hot topic. Head out to twitter.com, go to @StadiaSource, and tweet us with the gaming company you would like to see go all in on the cloud and make a white label. Like, I want to see the Square Enix cloud. I want to see the EA cloud. Tweet at us @StadiaSource to let us know your thoughts on the hot topic. Dan Domenech, so great to have you on the show tonight.
That was fun.
It was an amazing to have a legit Broadway. So I have to ask though.
Oh no.
Did you work directly with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly on Step Brothers?
Just
Like
Will
you have
Ferrell.
to dish for just a second.
All right, I'll tell you that story real quick. So we came up with the dance that we were doing for Step Brothers in a studio in Burbank. And then came the day where we had to be on set and teach it. So we go under this big tent, and it's just me and my boss, and then in walks Will Ferrell. And she's like, "We're gonna show you what we did." And I do this full out. I'm like, I'm a theater performer. I'm gonna do this perfect with energy, like I'm on stage in front of 1,000 people. Because here's Will Ferrell, and we get done. He goes, "We're shooting this in 15 minutes. We're not gonna do it like this." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh my god, he's not saying anything funny." And I was like, "Oh wait, this is a job. This is work." So we pared it down and we shot this whole number for the flashback scene with the choir where he's dressed as a pirate. That used to be a whole number. And then the movie came out and most of it's on the cutting room floor. But, the jokes are still there.
There you go.
We'll have to have you on again to tell us about working with Adele.
Oh, yeah. I got to tell you about working with Hugh Jackman. See, you brought up Hugh Jackman, and I'm like, now's not the time. Now's not the time.
We'll save that for the after show. We appreciate you being on. If people want to find you on the interwebs, where can they go?
At Dan_Domenech on Twitter and Instagram. I just joined TikTok. I haven't posted anything yet, but wow, how addicting is that? And everything goes viral on there like crazy.
I'd lose hours of just scrolling.
Yeah, Stadia Source needs their own TikTok.
I refuse to touch
Tim,
TikTok.
get on that.
Yeah, seriously, it's crazy how things catch fire on that. And that's it.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you being on. It's so good to have you. For those of you in the chat, we appreciate all of you hanging out as well, including our good friend Mr. Urban World, who added $5 to the Long John Silver's fund for me because apparently you want me to go get some chicken. So I will totally do that, Mr. Urban World. Appreciate the super chat there. If you want to check out some of these other amazing streamers doing their thing all week long, check out the Stream Team Dream Team playing right here on Stadia Source on YouTube, including Scarlett's Ready Gamer 1, All-Purpose Champs Power Up Plus right after this show, F-Tendo's Dad Time Gaming and Brews and Bruises, Stadia, Domination and Dom by Daylight with Mr. Dom down there, Blue Bob's Break Even Point, and the Hotspot with your good friend King Ija Mix. If you have been watching us live, we appreciate it. We love seeing you guys in the chat. We love it when you hang out with us. And we also love it if you join this list of, wait, what is this? StadiaSource.com looks different. It could be that in the things that Dan has done online that he hasn't told us about, it's the return of that glorious segment.
No.
It was close. Like Dan added something to the website that he hasn't told anyone about. Something like that. I can't remember. I'll go back. I need to flip it. Brand new look to StadiaSource.com. Slick. Get your new games when those were released. Get your upcoming games. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Get those deals on those Stadia games, Stadia Pro games to claim. Join this list of amazing folks who follow us, like us, subscribe us, all that good stuff. So check out the brand new glorious refresh. Dan, amazing work on that.
Thank you.
And at the bottom, hallelujah, it's a join us on YouTube button.
Woo!
Only been 6 weeks that I've been saying it.
That's what sparks the homepage redesign.
I wasn't able to add the button. And if you want to if you click that button, you can join this list of people who support us, including the crystal tier, the platinum tier, the gold tier, the silver tier, the bronze tier, and all those wonderful folks who bought us a coffee, as well as all those past patrons. All you got to do is click one of those two buttons at the bottom of the page. Roundtable, good to spend a Thursday evening with you as always. Dan, thank you for being on your show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on my show as well.
Dan.
Yeah, he thanks me for being on my own show.
I'm like,
I thank him because it's his website.
Well, thank you as well.
I'm just face.
Yeah.
We thank you. Yeah. Dom,
we made it the whole episode without having a problem with it, and right at the end, right there was the rock, and it was like
confusing. And that is, we found the roadkill on the side of the road, and it's me. Dom, have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Anthony, good to chat with you, and we'll see you on Power Up Plus.
Yep. See you guys later.
Scarlett, good to see you as always.
Bye, guys.
If you are listening to the podcast, you can join us live most Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can download the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Casts, and everywhere else you get podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Stadia Source. Like us on Facebook. Nominate me for Best Performance in an Off-Broadway Podcast. Join our Discord at stadiasource.com/Discord. And you can even wear Stadia Source when you're out and about by going to stadiasource.com/merch. Get the merch, you guys. You might even want to go get it soon because some of these items might be limited edition. Just saying. Hosting for Stadia Source.
Sorry.
Hosting for StadiaSource.com, generously provided by Rock. You can find out more about the technical expertise provided by Rock at rokk.co.uk. You can, if you haven't already, down below is a thumbs up button that lets us know you like this the show.
That's what you get for the saying "see."
I almost made it. And right next to it is the subscribe button that lets you know every time we post a new video. You can also become a member of the Stadia Source crew by clicking the join button down below with all great perks at every level of your budget. Thank you for joining us for the Stadia Source Roundtable Podcast. My name is Avery. Have a good one.
I think we're going to chat for a little bit after.